Welcome back to Historic Tahlequah. Senator Wilson and I are going to talk just a little bit about the family of Dr. Thompson, because that is what makes this house so historic. You know, Jim, Dr. Thompson was born down in the Choctaw Nation in 1865, right at the end of the Civil War. And his father, whose picture we discussed, was a teenager. Johnson Thompson was a teenager on the Trail of Tears. Really? And they were Cherokee, not full-blood Cherokee, but their lineage goes way back to Joseph Martin, Colonel Joseph Martin of colonial days in Virginia, and Susanna Childs, who was a Cherokee woman, the daughter of Ludovic Grant and his Cherokee wife, and so it's a very illustrious Cherokee lineage.
It is.
And I think it's interesting that the family lines are connected with so many other prominent Cherokee families in this area. The McSpaddens and the Parks, Mrs. T.L. Ballinger was a Parks. Just so many, Mrs. Dameron, so many well-known families in the Cherokee Nation, pre-statehood, were connected to this family. And Dr. Thompson was, as we talked about, a medical doctor. He took care of the children in the Cherokee National Orphanage at the end of the Civil War. So there's a lot to be said for the family connections, the roots that helped to make this community. And Jim, we want to talk again, I think, don't we, about the Victorian Christmas and how they can contribute to the house and so on.
We of course need and would like to have any contributions or donations that anybody is comfortable giving us. But at the Victorian Christmas, our big fundraiser of the year, if people will come down here, at that time we try to enhance our membership list, and memberships are $10 a piece, I believe. Is that not correct?
That's right.
We haven't changed that. So memberships are $10 a piece, and we like to have a membership drive at the end of the year for the following year. So the Victorian Christmas is a place we do that. And a lot of times when people come in, they will leave a donation, and that of course helps us with our operations. So it's really the good time of the year for our charitable drive.
And what about our post office box number?
Our post office box is P.O. Box 232, in case you can't make the Christmas. The mailman will certainly bring money to us, so we'd appreciate that. 232 is our post office box. That's Tahlequah 74465.
And you know, Jim, I think an interesting historical fact that has bearing on our keeping the house well painted is that the house's exterior tells the story of Dr. Thompson, because
yes,
in the cone of the Queen Anne roof is the mortar and pestle, emblematic of his being a doctor. And also in the cone of the front roof is the Cherokee Star, surrounded by a Masonic compass or triangle, and underneath are the 3 links for the Oddfellow Lodge. And all of those symbols tell the story of Dr. Thompson's involvement in the community, and that's why we want to keep the exterior of the house in such good condition with,
yes,
with the paint job.
And of course the history in Tahlequah goes back so far. The Masonic Lodge is one of the first in the state, if not the first in the state.
1847,
And that history is Dr. Thompson is so involved in that. And this, of course, was the place to be if you wanted to be progressive back in that day.
Exactly.
Telephone system, we have a book here, a telephone book from the first telephone system in Oklahoma, I believe.
1880s in the Mississippi Valley, west of the Mississippi, yes.
So real progressive, and of course the Cherokees are known for their education efforts and educating people, and he was just part of that history that's so valuable.
Exactly. And of course, you know, he went to the Cherokee Male Seminary and then to Indian University, which started here in 1880 and then ultimately became Bacone College in Muskogee. And then his father sent him to Missouri Medical College, so he was a graduate MD. Oklahoma was not yet available at that time, wasn't a state yet, so he had to go somewhere to receive his medical degree. So this family and this house have been an integral part of this community for such a long time. And I think it's rather historic that we're sitting right here in what we have furnished as a board, as a dining room. To begin with, the family cooked and ate in the basement, and then ultimately they moved up into the dining room. And we're sitting in front of the original fireplace, and the pictures of Mrs. Thompson and Dr. Thompson are right here over the fireplace. We're a part of history, and I'm old enough to be a part of history, Jim.
And real quickly, it may not be appropriate, but the other houses in town that were part of the Thompson family,
yes.
If you could just mention those briefly, I think that's very interesting.
Yes, well, Dr. Thompson built the French house, which is right across the street south of the library, the Carnegie Library, City Library. And he built it for his daughter, Jane Anna, who was married to Robert French, a high sheriff of the Cherokee Nation. And it's a beautiful two-story brick home. And then catty corner across from the library was one of Johnson Thompson's, the father's, homes, the brick home on the corner of Katua and Muskogee. And the store that Mr. Thompson, the father, Johnson Thompson, had was on the corner just across the street south of Bank First, and that is his original building. It's been encased in brick, covered with brick, but the original rock walls are there. So this is these are all a part of the Thompson family contribution to the community.
So it's not just limited to this one property.
Certainly not. And there are other houses which the city of Tahlequah has been so good in giving to the historic board for us to mark. There are other houses that are important in the growth of the city, and they're marked with signage. Well, we're so glad that you were a part of this this program, Historic Tahlequah, and our segments here on the Thompson House today. Senator Wilson, it's just been wonderful to have you. We want you to come back again and watch for us on INTV, Channel 25.